Hello, everybody, and welcome to our fall virtual preview day. We're so excited that you've decided to join us and learn more about the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy in St. Louis. We have great conversations planned for this evening. We are going to do this whole night live here on our campus, and I have some guests that'll be joining me throughout the evening to share more about different areas of our campus, from different faculty, staff, and even some of our current students. So it won't just be me the whole time, I promise. It can be really difficult to mimic an in-person preview day in a virtual setting. So we are doing our best because we want you to get a glimpse. We want you to get a taste of UHSP and what it means to be a student here and what opportunities there are here for you. So we, again, like I said, I feel like we have some good conversations planned. I have my computer here, so if you have questions throughout the evening, put them in the chat. We have some admissions reps standing by as well to answer as you're asking questions, but I'll keep an eye and I'll ask those questions live if I feel like more students can benefit from hearing the answers to those questions as well. So just know that you can put those questions in throughout the night, throughout the sessions, and I'll be keeping an eye on that chat to answer those. Before we get to introducing some of our guests this evening, I did want to introduce myself. My name is Courtney, and I am the Assistant Director of Events and Student Experience here at the university. I have worked here for almost 5 years in the admissions office, but I also am an alum of the institution. I graduated from St. Louis College of Pharmacy a little bit over 8 years ago with my Pharm D. So I like to say I have about 11 years of experience being here at the institution. And it's a passion of mine to help other students find their place in higher education, but in healthcare, in pharmacy, find their place here at UHSP, and just feel comfortable and feel comfortable exploring their passion. So that's what my passion is, and I hope to help you all figure yours out as well. We started our virtual preview days now, goodness, almost 2.5 years ago when the pandemic hit. We started offering our preview days in a virtual setting. Even though we're back fully in person and we do have our in-person preview days, we also have campus visits and events that are happening in person as well. We didn't want to get rid of our virtual events quite yet. We feel like they can hit a lot of our prospective students who aren't from the Missouri and Illinois area. I know we have registered students from states like Louisiana and New Hampshire. I think I saw Mississippi on there. And of course we have our Missouri and Illinois students as well. But we like to talk to you guys, and this is a great way for us to get information to you until you get a chance to come and visit campus one day. So in the meantime, until you can get to campus, I have a quick virtual campus tour for you. This will be a good placeholder so that you can get a view of campus, and then when you have the chance to come in person, you'll already have a little bit of a taste of what it's like. So we will head to that video really quickly, and then when we come back, I'll have a guest with me and we'll get started with that conversation. Hello and welcome to University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy in St. Louis. Let me show you around. Now we're in the Recreation and Student Center, also known as RAS. Here we are in our cafe. We serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner throughout the school year. There's tons of places to sit, eat, and hang out with your friends. Here we are on the 4th floor of RAS. On this floor, you'll find the Student Success Center, the Center for Career Services and Education, the Counseling Center, the Multicultural Center, the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, and the Spirituality Center. We have over 65 student organizations, and there's space for them on campus to plan their meetings and events. This lounge is for students to just relax and hang out. On the 3rd floor of RAS is our fitness center. The RAS is also home to our competition gym, recreation gym, and our indoor track. The North Residence Hall is located here on the 5th, 6th, and 7th floor of RAS. It's where our first years and sophomores live.
On each floor of the residence hall, there's a lounge where students can meet, hang out, and study, all with great views. There are laundry rooms on every floor, and you don't need coins, you just use your student ID badge. This building is where most classes in the College of Pharmacy are held. There are regular classrooms and also skills labs for our pharmacy students. Skills labs are built to mimic patient care environments and give our students hands-on experience. We have a clinical skills lab where students practice working with patients, a community skills lab that looks like a community pharmacy, a hospital skills lab that looks like a hospital setting and has a sterile compounding lab with fume hoods and a scrub station, and a pharmaceutics lab where students practice compounding. Here's our library. There's a lot of places for students to study, including private study rooms. This lounge is a popular place where students hang out between classes, and the view is pretty great too. The 6th floor of this building is completely dedicated to research. The Center for Clinical Pharmacology and the Center for Health Outcomes, Research, and Education are both located up on this floor. Behind this wall, which is made of the recycled floor from our old gymnasium, is our 400-seat auditorium. Behind me is our South Residence Hall and also our Chick-fil-A and Starbucks. Now we're heading to Jones Hall, which is the oldest building on our campus when we moved here to this location in 1927. Here in Jones Hall, you'll find our Technical Support Center. Many of the classes in the College of Arts and Sciences are taught here in Jones Hall. Right here in our backyard, you'll find Children's Hospital, Barnes Jewish Hospital, Siteman Cancer Center, Washington University School of Medicine, and Goldfarb School of Nursing. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you on campus soon.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you, me. Now back to me in this setting, in real life. We hope you enjoyed that. Again, that's just a quick 4-minute video tour of campus, just to give you a good glimpse. We do want you to come in person to campus when you get the chance. Like I said, we do campus tours throughout the week, Monday through Friday. We also have a spring in-person preview day in April. That you can, we'll send more information out about. So if you're interested in coming to campus, but you can't make it during the week, that preview day is on a Saturday. So we can send that info out to you all, and hopefully you guys can make it to campus really soon. If you want to wait maybe till it's warmer, you have that option. So let's get to our first conversation of the evening. On your schedules that you got emailed, if you registered for this event, you saw that we were going to talk about our new College of Global Population Health with our Dean David Steeb. Unfortunately, he is unable to join us this evening, but in his place, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that new college. So I am not an expert on it. However, I do have some great information to share. So our new College of Global Population Health is new. Dean Steeb joined us this year, and it's an exciting chapter at our university. This College of Global Population Health will have three degrees underneath in that college. That'll be the Bachelor of Science in Data Science, Healthcare Administration, and Public Health. This college will also house our new online Master of Public Health in the fall of 2024. So lots of exciting things happening. And while I won't be able to talk as in depth as Dean Steeb or any of our faculty members of this college will be able to, I hope I'll be a good placeholder of information. And let us know. Email the admissions office and we can connect you with Dean Steeb, with his new faculty members, and they are ready to talk to you. They are ready to have conversations with you. If you are interested, even in the slightest bit in one of these undergraduate programs or curious about what they are all about, let us know. We can make that connection for you and get you connected with Dean Steeb or any of his faculty members. But just to give you a glimpse, give you a taste of what the College of Global Population Health will provide for our students. It's going to provide a lot of leadership development opportunities, career development. The careers within these degrees will lead to are thriving right now. So our faculty are going to be able to work one-on-one with the students in these degree programs in this college to provide great experiences for them, not only just in the classroom in this developing curriculum, but also outside of the classroom in different research experiences, different hands-on experiences. Our faculty members that are joining us are world-renowned, so they are bringing a lot of great expertise and experience, and our students are just so lucky that they're going to get to work with these faculty members and, of course, Dean Steeb, and kind of launch and be a part of the beginning of this college. So lots to come on the College of Global Population Health, and we're sorry Dean Steeb couldn't be here, but he says hello, and he can't wait to talk to you. So please email admissions@uhsp.edu, and we will help make those connections for you, whether that's in a virtual setting or if you schedule a campus visit, we can help connect you in person with those folks to have a conversation as well. So know that, and know that there's a lot of exciting things coming. So my in-person guest right now is my dear friend and fellow admissions representative, Walter Beckham, joining me on the couch here to my right. And we're going to talk a little bit about what it might be feeling like for some of you at this point in your application process. I know we have a few different, probably grade levels of students, prospective students joining us. So we've probably got a good chunk of seniors, high school seniors. We also probably have some juniors and sophomores. So this first little bit of our conversation will be focused more on our seniors. So again, they are in a moment where you're probably getting a lot of acceptance letters, hopefully getting acceptance letters, getting scholarship offers. And I think it might be creating some anxiety potentially. I think Walter works really closely with a lot of our students. He represents a lot of states, a lot of territory in the United States, and he works with a lot of students. So Walter, let's talk a little bit about how students can be handling the pressures that they're feeling right now, and maybe some words of wisdom that you might have that they can be thinking about right now as they're applying and figuring things out for college.
Yeah, well, right now I would say, like I tell many people, just stop and take a breath for a second, right? Try to pat yourself on the back for all of the things that you have accomplished already. Mm-hmm. You've already been very successful at many years of school already just to get to this point. And we have gone through many things in the last couple of years. And so for you to make it here, you've already accomplished a lot. So take a minute, give yourself some kudos for that. Outside of that, right now we're in November. Getting around mid to end November now, a good thing to do would be to try to wrap up your admissions essays, your personal statements, your scholarship letters. Try to wrap up things like your financial aid, applying for your FAFSA and things like that. Those would be the top of my list of suggestions for you right now.
Yeah, especially for you seniors. Yeah, I think it can be overwhelming, and you've probably, especially those of you who have already submitted applications at this point, like you've done a lot of the hard work, especially, if you're getting acceptance letters and those sorts of things, you've done a lot of the hard work already. So it's just kind of tying that bow on it all. And just as a reminder, reach out to us. That's why we're here in the office. We're here to help support you through that. So even if you think it's the smallest question and you feel silly asking it, just ask us. And that's why we're here to help guide you through this process. Some of you, it may be the first time someone in your family has had to go through an college application process. And so it just may be unfamiliar territory. And that's why we're here. We're here to help answer those questions, make you feel confident, help you feel confident in your journey, in your application journey. And so for our younger students, maybe our juniors, sophomores, maybe freshmen, if we have any of the younger students joining us, I think right now, just kind of like what Walter said, take a breath. Kudos to you for joining us in this virtual session and watching and wanting to learn more about our college, our university, and the opportunities here. And keep doing that. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep soaking in all that knowledge, right?
Right. Also, to, take time now to maybe, think of 3 or 4 places that you might like to visit.
Yeah.
One of the best ways to know if you'll fit into a place is to actually visit that place. You want to go and get a feel for the vibe of the campus, as I like to say. See, can you envision yourself there? See how the students interact with each other. See, can you connect with the professor on campus? And so we still have many students coming to visit now before the holidays and right after. So definitely, you being a junior, a great time to get out and see things in person.
Yeah, and I will say we'll have some faculty members joining us here in our next 2 segments. So you'll get a glimpse of that, get a glimpse at what our faculty members are like, and how I think they're very easy to talk to, and they have a lot of knowledge to share. So real quick, before we wrap up this session, also I want to shout out to our transfer students or our students interested in joining our professional program who maybe are already in college and taking classes. We're here to support you too, and so you have a unique and a different journey than someone coming in right out of high school, but we're here and prepared to assist you how that might be. So you might be in a little bit different of a spot at this point in your journey of applying to colleges, different colleges, because you've already gone through the process. You've already applied to college before. You know what it's like. So your questions might be a little bit different, a little bit more specific. So again, reach out to us. We know how to help you through your situation specifically, and everyone's situation is unique and specific to them. So we work with you on a one-on-one basis, help set you up with our registrar to get transcript questions answered and those sorts of things. So again, just reach out. Just want to keep encouraging you all to reach out to us, let us know what questions you have, and don't ever feel like your questions are silly or not worth asking. We're always just a call or an email or a text away. But before we wrap up and take a little bit of a break, any last words of wisdom from Walter?
I think that I was actually going to say this earlier about you saying don't be afraid to reach out to us. I think that is one of the key things. You're going to receive a lot of emails, texts maybe, phone calls, and I know sometimes that you might want to shy away from responding to things like that, but don't ever think that you are inconveniencing us. You are the work that we do, right? And so we are here to help you throughout this process. It can be a little nerve-wracking, but it is a very exciting chance as you take the first step into the rest of your future. So, help us help you.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you for joining me. He'll be back with me in just a second in our next session. But to outline what the sessions are the rest of the night. So you're just going to stay. It's the same. It's the same live the whole night. So we'll just take breaks, and our screen will go to kind of a slideshow, and then we'll come back live according to the schedule. So starting at 6:30, we're going to have a faculty member from our College of Arts and Sciences joining us, and we'll talk through some great opportunities that our undergraduate students have. And then at 7 o'clock, we'll be joined by 2 of our St. Louis College of Pharmacy faculty members. Even if you're not interested in pharmacy, even if you're interested in a different healthcare career, or even if you're interested in pharmacy, I would still encourage you to join us in the next session. But come to all the live sessions tonight. Even, again, like I said, if you're not interested in pharmacy, still join us for the pharmacy session. Because I always encourage students that I work with to talk with the folks who have already been through it, who are in the career, in the healthcare field. They're going to share their stories with you, and something that they say might click with you and might help invigorate you and help you find a passion that you maybe didn't know you had before, or something that you're interested in that you didn't know you were before, and something you may want to explore. So I just encourage you to join it, Just listen to what they have to say, again, even if you aren't interested in those specific areas. And then we will close out the night starting at 7:30 with some of our current students, some of our student ambassadors. They are all in our undergraduate program, and then we have a pharmacy student who will be available online to answer questions as well. So that's kind of the outline of the night, and we look forward to seeing you back here in about 7 minutes, so take a break, get a water, get dinner, whatever you need to do, and we'll be back with you in just a little bit at 6:30. welcome back to our Fall Virtual Preview Day. I am joined by one of the same guests, but we have a new guest with us. So this session, we are going to talk about discovering your place in healthcare. And that is what we try and help our students do in our undergraduate programs in our College of Arts and Sciences, and now in our College of Global Population Health as well. We try to help foster their excitement for healthcare and help them find new passions and new experiences. So we are joined by one of our faculty members in our College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Jean Escudero, or Dr. E for short, so that's what I'll call her for the rest of the time. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good.
Very good. All right, you got the mic, guys.
She's new to this, we're working through
I'm
it.
not a TV star.
So we're just going to chat through different opportunities, but I'm going to first let Dr. E introduce herself and tell her your story. Tell us her story. There we go. Tell us her story and how she got to where she is today, what she teaches here, but kind of her path to where she is today. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. So I am someone who got into academia fairly late compared to many people. When I went to graduate school, I got my PhD in microbiology, and I knew right away I never wanted to teach. I was like, that's the last thing I want to do. So I went into biotechnology. And I did that for about 5 years until I was rudely laid off. And at that time, I got hired into academia. And I got an opportunity to teach, and it was kind of amazing for me. And as soon as I did it, I knew, like, only thing I want to do is academia now. And so I really love teaching, and I think I have fun doing it, and I like to hope that the students kind of have fun, although I'm not considered a very easy teacher, but that's all right. So I teach microbiology, and most of the students take that in either their sophomore or junior year, depending on their major. And then I also teach immunology, which is a requirement for the pharmacy program. So if you go to pharmacy, you'll take that in your P1 year, but it's also considered an upper-level biology elective. So a lot of the biomed students will take that course. I have 2 other courses that are electives, and that's virology. And virology was really fun. I decided to develop that during COVID because I listened to a lot of people talk on the news and things about viruses, and it really seemed like they had no idea anything about viruses. And so I thought, I've worked with viruses quite a bit in my research, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to develop a course and help our students learn a little bit more than the average Joe about viruses, considering we're in the middle of a pandemic. So I've taught that 2 semesters, this being the 2nd semester. And then I also teach public health microbiology. And that's kind of a big applied microbiology of how basically when I developed it, it was actually the spring of 2020. And it was kind of very appropriate considering we're having our biggest public health disaster that we've had in a century, maybe. So yeah, and so that's what I teach here now.
So Dr. E has talked a little bit about some of the courses that she teaches, and those overlap amongst a lot of our undergraduate programs, a lot of our Bachelor of Science degrees. And again, like I said, this session that we're here talking about is just to kind of highlight the different opportunities. So I think kind of going off of what Walter and I were talking about in the last session is, you might have an idea of what pathway you want to take. You might know healthcare, and UHSP is a great place to be to discover if you aren't sure exactly what in healthcare it is you want to do, but you want to be in healthcare. We're a great place for you to discover that. We're a great place for you to be if you know exactly what you want to do, especially pharmacy, pre-med, research, if that's a career path you want to take, public health, data science, those sorts of things. But for our students who are maybe undecided, again, they know healthcare, but they just aren't sure, we're also a great place for those students. And I know, Walter, you work with a lot of students who are in that position, and that brings a lot of nervousness because I think they have to have that decided before they start. And it's, of course, great to have an idea, but, I think, Walter, you can kind of speak to that a little bit, but then Dr. E, can you talk a little bit about how our faculty members and what support that faculty members provide for students as far as conversations that they have with them, kind of advising them on ways to move forward into their healthcare career. But you can kind of talk about what you hear from students a lot.
Sure. A lot of times, often we'll, run across students who, of course, may not know exactly what career field they want to get into as it relates to health, but they know they love science. right? They know they may want to do something in healthcare. They may have a general passion to help people, help the community. And so we have a very unique situation here where we have a wide variety of programs that they can get into. And so I try to stress, and I'll even lay out our one-sheeters, as we call them, so they can see kind of how the semesters break down for each one, and they see that a lot of things overlap, especially in the beginning of a lot of those areas.
Yeah, and Dr. you talk a little bit about the support that faculty, or just your relationship with students and how you work with them.
Well, one of the things I want to say is, when we talk about not knowing what you want to do, what I just told you was I did a major career shift and I was in my 40s. So it's okay for being an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old and going I don't know. And so what's really nice about the school here is you might think you want to be a pharmacist, but you might not know. And so if you have any interest in healthcare, you can come to us, and because while you're doing your BS, you can have exposure to our great faculty in pharmacy, you might realize, that is what I want to do. So it's not a big risk. You can get some other type of degree like biomed or, some other type, medical humanities. But at the same time, because your exposure to pharmacy and what's going on here, you can learn more about it and go, that is what I want to do. And so it's a great spot for that opportunity, I think, is really, really nice.
Yeah.
And plus, because we walk you right in the door into the pharmacy program, if you decide that's what you want.
Right.
But for other routes, for instance, if you want to do biomed, a lot of the students that I advise are biomed majors. And some of these will end up going to medical school, dental school, graduate school, lots of different types of schools, or they want to work in a laboratory. We offer really good experiences. We've got a lot of research opportunities for the students, and that opens just a lot of doors. And we've had students, and I've had students who've worked in my lab where they want to be pharmacy students, but they're doing research with me. And so they'll do research with me, and they might slow it down a little bit when they get in the professional program because it's intense. But then during their P4 year, when they get to do rotations, they can do a rotation with me and come back again. So it's really fun to see students after they've been going through the professional program and come back, to see the changes, and it's just really, to see the growth is pretty incredible. But I think what you find in our undergrad program is as the students come in and their first years and they don't know what they want to do, our doors are really open to different opportunities, and we'll help you find what you want. And if it isn't that you want to be a pharmacist, we've got all these other options now that I think we do a good job helping you out.
Yeah.
And one of the opportunities we have that you'd apply to once you're accepted is called Research Scholars, and I'm in charge of that.
Go ahead. Go ahead and talk about that. Yeah.
So this is an opportunity where there is tuition reduction for being a member of this. And when you come in, you do rotations through a couple different labs doing research, and then you decide what lab you want to be in. And for 4 years, you can do research with that person. And if it turns out after a year or two you don't want to be in that particular lab, it's okay. You can rotate to another one and get just a different experience. And that includes doing rotations perhaps with pharmacy faculty as well. I have one of my students this year doing a rotation with Dr. Misak, and that's just a whole different thing than most of the first years are doing. So that's going to be, and she wants to be a pharmacist. So this is giving her a great opportunity to start working with a pharmacy professor right now and gaining that experience and really, making her realize why it's so important and so nice being here. It's just exposure to so many different kind of opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. And I think what maybe advice would you give to a high school student, especially the seniors who are going to be here next fall? I think high school is different than college as far as talking to you for many different reasons, but I think one is connecting with their teachers, connecting with their faculty members. And you've talked a little bit about it already, but I know you've had such great relationships with a lot of our students, and a few in particular, recent grads who have gone on, like you said, to go. So if you want to talk a little bit about kind of what that faculty-student relationship is like in the undergrad program, it's pretty unique. It's pretty unique.
I think one of the things is, some people are afraid that if they go to a small school, like our school, you will lose opportunity if you want to go to medical school or something like that. You're like, oh, I need to go to a bigger school with a bigger name. And the fact is, you do better being with us because we know you. Our letters of recommendation will be very personal. We will get you more experiences. You know, you could be a TA in a class, you can be a tutor. We really open a lot of doors for you. And one of the examples that I think Courtney really wants me to talk about, and I love to talk about this gal, she's great. Her nickname is Bear. That's not a real name, but it's her nickname. And she was a great student. I met her first year, and she introduced herself to me. She just walked right in, and she gave me her resume, and she was like, I want to do research with you. I'm very interested in microbiology. And I was just kind of floored because most first years don't walk in with the experience she had. She had done a lot in her high school. So she ended up working with me for 4 years, and it was a lot of fun. She was just a great kid. She played soccer, she played softball, she was an orientation leader. This is someone who did everything. She was the editor for Pharmacon, which is our magazine. And we did submit a paper with her as first author, and I'm working on edits right now. And she went from not being sure what she wanted to do to she's at Montana State now in graduate school. She wants to get a PhD in microbiology. And I am absolutely bragging right now because I'm really proud of her. But that is something, I mean, she's a great example of showing how, you know, you can walk in the door not knowing what you want to do and walk out like knowing exactly. Just watching how she changed in those 4 years, it was really incredible. And we can do that for any of you.
Yeah.
Like, we can help you, and I think it's really important. We try hard for you.
Yeah, and I like you to tell those stories because I think students, you know, it's hard to, you know, we tell them all these, you know, things about our university and we give examples, but when you hear real life stories of a faculty member who, you know, we work with them up to a certain point, and then when they're students, it's just, I think it's helpful for prospective students to hear those real life stories of success stories of students, you know, going on and doing great things. But Walter, do you have anything to add there?
While you were speaking, I was thinking about, I was given a tour once, and it was a young lady who wanted to be a dentist, right? She came in with her mom and dad. The dad is a dentist as well. And so as I was giving the tour, and I was over in Jones Hall, and we're walking through, and I was showing them the anatomy physiology lab, and the professor, you know, comes out and engages and starts to speak with her. And so he asked her what she wanted to do. And she said, I want to be a dentist. And so he started naming every student in the class who wanted to be a dentist. And the dad, mind was blown because that was not his undergraduate experience. He didn't have professors that really, really knew him. So that's very unique.
We really get to know our students super well. And you know, I've talked to a lot of parents when they're coming through. Walter will bring students through with their parents, and I often talk to them. And one of the things, I talk directly to the parents on this one. It's not, and the students kind of cringe a little bit when I say it, but I say, we know who your student is, and we notice when something's up and if they're missing. And when we talk amongst each other about, you know, about the students, we're not talking as in talking badly, we're talking about concern. We want to catch you if you're having a problem. We want to help you, and we really get to know you. And I think you find that you're part of family here, and that's not just a cliche. I truly appreciate the support all my colleagues give to our students.
Yeah, and I think kind of going into that, I know Walter and I were talking, we talk all the time about it, but earlier today we were talking, I think a lot of times prospective students just want to know, like, what's their like day-to-day like here, you know, and I think it depends, you know, for sure on what you're involved in. If you're a student athlete, our faculty are really, really incredible at working with our student athletes as well. Bear, she mentioned earlier, that student, she was a student athlete, but was still able to be involved in other things as well. And I think, you know, all of us are here to support the students who want to get involved outside of the classroom, but we then help support them and make sure they stay strong in their inside the classroom and their academics. So it's really integrated, and it maybe sounds, like you said, it maybe sounds creepy, maybe that we know, and we want you to succeed. We want you to do well. And so I think you and, you know, any parents or guardians who are watching as well, I think you'll feel that. Like Walter said, even on that, you know, that group's campus visit, you know, they got a glimpse of what it was like with faculty members and just feeling a part of something bigger than just, you know, in a lecture hall of 500, in a biology class of 500 students. Like, that's just not the experience you're getting here. Your faculty members, it might take a few weeks to get to know you, to know your names, but they'll get to know you. And like she said as well, I think they encourage students to come to them, very open door as far as making you feel comfortable and giving you, you know, the the right and the feeling that you take control of your education and you seek out opportunities too. But I always talk to students when I'm talking to them on visits. I say, there's a lot of things just kind of sitting on a platter, waiting for you to have the experience, to take the experience and run with it. And our faculty members, our staff members are here to help facilitate that for you. College is a little different in that way, in that it is a lot of proactiveness on your part, and you have to kind of be responsible for your education and take that seriously. But I think we also do provide a lot of the support that our students feel. Yeah.
If I could say one more thing,
Please.
No matter where you end up, if you hopefully show up with us or go somewhere else, you got to communicate, because it isn't high school. They're not going to call your mom when you haven't been going to class. There's no truant officer coming for you. But if you're not there because something's going wrong or for whatever reason, you have to contact them. We're parents, we're siblings. We all understand things go wrong. We all have a dog that dies. We all have something going on. So when it goes wrong, the worst thing you can do is not communicate with your professors. Reach out for that help. Let them know. Everyone understands things happen. But if you just disappear, we can't help you. And so whatever you end up doing, please remember to communicate with your professors so you give them a chance to help. Because if you just disappear, you're not giving us the opportunity to do what we're meant to do, and that's to help you get to where you want to be.
Yeah, and I think that's important, and I'm glad that you said that last bit, because I think sometimes when students get to the point where they think they can't find the help, it's just not the case here. There's so many people. If you feel most comfortable, if you've visited with Walter before, or you've come to visit with me and you feel most comfortable with us, come find us and we'll help you, find the help that you need. It's that simple. Come stop by, see us you'll see Walter, I'm sure, around campus on tours again when you get here, and we're all here to help and make it a good experience. Go ahead, please, go ahead.
And for seniors, this won't help much, but for anyone who's a junior or below, we do a summer immersion program, and it's pretty fun. The students show up on Sunday and they stay till Saturday, and it's really an immersive program where you come in and you get into an anatomy class and do different dissections. I do a microbiology, molecular biology thing. The pharmacists get involved. They do compounding labs, and they do a couple different activities. But it's a really great chance for you to come in and spend a week here and get to know some of the professors and get to see the campus, like really see the campus. And we do it twice, once in June and once in July. And I don't know the dates right now, but mailings are probably going out right now. And that's something that would be a neat way for you to check us out if you're interested. I think that's kind of fun.
That's great. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yes. So we have, so for our juniors, even sophomores, freshmen, like Dr. E said, probably not seniors, but this summer immersion program is a great opportunity. Especially if you aren't sure, that's a great way to dive in. You'll be on campus, and yes, of course, you'll be on our campus, but we're not gonna focus on one thing. We focus on all aspects of healthcare, bringing in different speakers and taking you off campus and having really cool immersive experiences as well. So like Dr. E said, you'll get some information about that. If you don't see anything from us in an email or online, again, I'll say it 18 more times tonight, email admissions at UHSP.edu and ask for that information, and we'll make sure that you get the information and can get applied. There's an application process for that program, but we'll make sure that you get the information that you need. Any other last tips, last words from Dr. E or Walter? You said a lot of good things.
Come here because we're nice.
She is, and I wanted tonight to just show how easy it is to talk to our faculty members, and we can replicate these sorts of conversations in person during campus visits. We can do it virtually too. Some of you are on a Teams call right now, so we can set up virtual meetings with you and a faculty member. We've said it a few times already, but we want to help facilitate conversations and help you figure out what's the best spot for you. And we hope that's here with us at UHSP, but if it's not, we feel just as good of helping you and helping you find your place in higher education and finding the right spot for you. So Thank you, Dr. E. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you again, Walter. And we're going to take another quick break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes at 7 o'clock. Again, we'll be joined by some pharmacy faculty. So again, even if you aren't interested in pharmacy specifically, still join and watch. I think you'll be really interested to hear their stories, hear their pathways into the pharmacy career, and hear a little bit more about St. Louis College of Pharmacy, which is our flagship program and celebrated a big anniversary last week. So just stick around for that or come back at 7 and we'll be back to talk about St. Louis College of Pharmacy. So we'll see you in just a little bit. right, welcome back. We're almost done for the evening. We've got 2 sessions left. This one, we will be talking and focusing on St. Louis College of Pharmacy, so pathways to pharmacy careers. And I wanted to, start out this session saying, I forgot to mention it earlier, but we do have some financial aid, members of our financial aid team standing by. You should have received, in the schedule that you received at the bottom, there should be a Teams link there to the financial aid conversation chat room. So if you have questions when we're in a break for the team, if you have quick financial aid questions or anything like that, you can shoot them to that chat room, and they're standing by to help answer those. But if you don't have questions tonight, but you have questions about financial aid in the future, you can set up meetings with financial aid, whether it be in person or virtual. So again, let our admissions office know. We can help facilitate that and help get you connected with the financial aid office to get those questions answered. So wanted to say that really quickly. And then second, I wanted to start off this session. Again, we're talking about St. Louis College of Pharmacy, so pathways to the Pharm D program and pharmacy careers in general. So before I introduce my guest, from an admissions perspective, I just wanted to give a little bit of detail about those pathways. So again, tonight we probably have mostly high school students joining us. I know we might have a transfer or maybe a professional student, so a student who is already in college and wants to apply directly into our 4-year Pharm D program. So I'll kind of go over the different pathways. First ones we'll talk about are those for those students coming right into our university from high school. So we have our main pathway is going to be our integrated Bachelor of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences and Pharm D. That program can be done in 7 years. That's the max time it would take, and you would get a Bachelor of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences and a Pharm D within 7 years. Since it's a 7-year program, you're like, how do you get, isn't a bachelor degree 4 years? Pharm D program's 4 years, so there's an integrated year. So your senior year of your bachelor program is also the first year of the Pharm D program. So that is that's the main pathway, that 7-year path. We do have students, especially nowadays, who come in with a lot of AP and dual IB credit courses, so their pathway is shortened a little bit. So they sometimes get to that Pharm D, graduate with a Pharm D within 6 years. So it all just kind of depends on what you're coming in with, what courses are transferring in for you, and it also depends on what your want is. Are you wanting to get to that Pharm D program as fast as you can? Those conversations, again, are going to be had one-on-one because everybody's going to come in with a unique situation, and we're going to be able to work with you to figure out what that path is. For students who come into our undergraduate program, maybe are undecided, or maybe they start off in a degree path, maybe such as like our Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Sciences, or maybe even our Bachelor of Science in Pharmaceutical Chemistry, or one of our other non-pharmaceutical science degrees. You still have an opportunity. A lot of those courses, especially that first year, sophomore year, those are going to overlap in a lot of our undergraduate degree programs. So that allows you a little bit of time. So as you get started at the university and as you get maybe involved in different clubs, different organizations, and you start to get new experiences and find which area of healthcare you're most interested in, if you maybe, like I said, come in not thinking pharmacy, you might change your mind. You might get to interact with some pharmacy faculty or just have some pharmacy experiences that you weren't able to have before coming here. And you might want to switch and switch to that Pharm D path. So we are here to help you maneuver those conversations, help you figure out if that is something that happens for you, how to switch degree paths, or how to stay on your current degree path but have Pharm D as your ultimate goal as well. So you maybe wouldn't even need to change from a Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Sciences. We would just make sure that you're completing the required prerequisites for the Pharm D program. So that gives you a brief first glimpse of understanding maybe of undergraduate pathways to Pharm D here at UHSP. We do have some transfer students that will come in. Their situations, typically they come in, they transfer into UHSP and they either work on just completing Pharm D prerequisite courses, or they come in and they want to pursue a bachelor degree as well. So again, that is such a one-on-one, unique situation, student to student. So we work with you to see what courses you've taken, how you fit in to the program, to the undergraduate program, and what that path, how many years it's going to take, before that Pharm D program would start. So just know that we will help you navigate that, and we'll help you figure out what path is the right one. And then the last option would be for our students who start or complete either a bachelor degree or complete all the required Pharm D prerequisites outside of UHSP. So whether that's community college or at another university or college, and then you apply directly into our Pharm D program. Our Pharm D program is 4 years for everybody. So anybody all the pathways I was just talking about, that Pharm D is always 4 years. But for students outside, you would just be applying directly into that 4-year Pharm D program. And that application process is through a system called PharmCAS. But we won't go into those details, but I just wanted to give you all just kind of a glimpse, a quick understanding of what that process looks like. Again, we have folks here in the admissions office to help walk you through that process and what that looks like. But hope that maybe gets your wheels turning and at least helps you get an initial understanding of what applying to pharmacy school looks like, what applying to UHSP looks like as far as having Pharm D as your path. So hopefully that gives you a good, quick admission standpoint understanding. Now we'll get to the exciting part, my guests that we have here. So we have 2 faculty members here from the St. Louis College of Pharmacy. And I'm just going to have them introduce themselves, tell you who they are, where they came from, and how they got to being a pharmacy faculty member here. And what's really unique about all of our faculty members is that they have different specialty areas within pharmacy. So we'll kind of weave the conversation, and we'll end up talking a little bit about the different areas of pharmacy that you can go into, the different career paths that there are. We won't be able to talk about all of them because that would take a lot of hours the rest of the night to talk about all the opportunities, but we'll at least, again, like I said, give you some quick insight so that it maybe starts those wheels turning in your brain. So our first guest, we'll talk first to Dr. Justine Guyton. So Justine, Dr. Guyton, tell us a little bit about yourself, what your specialty area is, and help us get to know you.
All right, yeah, thanks. So I guess I'll kind of start with my, whole career through pharmacy, just to give you all a little bit of an overview of what it might look like for you. I had an undergrad degree already, and then I chose pharmacy as my kind of next step. So I took kind of the long route to get to pharmacy school. After completing pharmacy school, I knew I wanted to be a clinical pharmacist, so kind of be more on the side of picking medicines and working directly with patients and providers. So I ended up doing 2 years of residency training after pharmacy school. So I picked a program at the University of Mississippi for my first year, and then the University of North Carolina for my second year. People who do a second year of pharmacy residency get to kind of specialize in an area they care more about. And so for me, it's what we call ambulatory care. So outpatient work with patients and with providers kind of in like a typical clinic setting. So I trained and specialized in that my second year. I also was able to have a lot of opportunities teaching at the School of Pharmacy and working directly with students. And that really helped kind of push my passions together to want to go into academia. And so I found my next step here at St. Louis College of Pharmacy. So I've been here for 10 years, and I teach in the classroom, and then I practice also at the St. Louis County Department of Public Health. So my practice side, I get to kind of teach the students what they learn in the classrooms, but really apply it directly with patients. And that's going to be mostly students who are in their 4th year of the pharmacy curriculum. So mostly in clinic, I'm seeing patients and helping with diabetes, high blood pressure, their cholesterol medicines, and really getting to sit down one-on-one with them, talk to them about their medicines, help them pick the right medicines for them and their situation and insurance coverage, and then have the pharmacy students there with me. And then when I'm in the classroom, I get to teach those topics. So in lectures, kind of going over the pharmacotherapy behind picking those medicines and knowing about them. And then one of the other cool things that I get to do here as part of my teaching is running one of the skills labs that goes with what students are learning in the classroom. So in that lab experience, we get to, those same topics that I love in clinic, we get to do them kind of with the hands-on, learning how to use the devices and talk kind of really one-to-one with patients about what the students have learned.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then our next guest, we'll have our other guests introduce themselves, and then we'll have a little bit more in-depth conversation, is Dr. Andy Cranage. So Dr. Cranage, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks. I heard someone say earlier about people maybe wanting to be a dentist, and that was the kind of known route. That was me at one point. So
There you go.
early in high school, I knew I wanted to go to dental school, was sure of it. And later on kind of started questioning that a little bit. And later in high school, started working for a family friend's pharmacy. And as a junior in high school, going there and seeing all the drugs on the shelf kind of got me thinking, when you're a kid, you take the quote bubblegum medicine, right? When you have an ear infection, and it got me wondering, how does that actually work? Like, that's what I thought was neat. And it made me want to go to pharmacy school. And I attended here at St. Louis College of Pharmacy. So I graduated from here. I did do the direct program all the way through. And I got my Pharm D degree. And all the time I was in school, I knew I wanted to go back and own that pharmacy. I knew that's what I was going to do, 100%. There was no doubt in my mind. And that very last year of rotations, kind of started questioning that, because I had really great experiences with faculty members, and said, well, I'll try this residency thing for a year, and then I'll go back and work at that store. And I did the residency thing at a local hospital here, St. John's Mercy Medical Center is what it used to be called. It's now called Mercy Hospital St. Louis. And it was with an emphasis in inpatient medicine. And about halfway through, I knew I wanted to be a faculty member. And I had totally changed from dentist to owning a community pharmacy, or working at a community pharmacy, to wanting to be a faculty member and a clinical pharmacist. And that's the route I took. So when I finished residency, I started here at the college as a pharmacy practice faculty member, just as Dr. Guyton described herself. My practice is in inpatient internal medicine. So I round with our inpatient teaching team. So I'm a pharmacist, but I never touch a drug. I never touch an order. I never make an IV bag. I round with physicians and residents who are on their way to being full-blown physicians, and make drug recommendations for patients who are acutely sick in the hospital, and try to get them out of the hospital as quickly and safely as we can. And as a part of that, on rotations during your last year of pharmacy school, you'd be able to come and do that in a very personalized 2 students at a time, with 1 faculty member like myself or Dr. Guyton out doing those things at those types of settings. Here at the college, I've been in the pharmacy practice department for close to 15 years, and primarily I teach in the integrated pharmacotherapy series, and that's kind of broken down by disease states. So my main area for that is nephrology. So I coordinate the nephrology topics of pharmacotherapy, where we learn about all of the medicines that impact the kidneys and how that can play a role in helping patients with their outcomes.
So great. Thank you so much both for sharing your stories. And again, the reason I wanted them to do that, like I mentioned earlier, I think when students are trying to figure out their place in healthcare, when you hear stories of people's journeys, like you started wanting to be a dentist and you just had an experience in a pharmacy and things clicked for you there. That's one of the things I want and hope to do in these sorts of virtual events, is share these stories so that students can start hearing them and connecting the dots again to like their interests. And they're like, oh, I wasn't even thinking that could be a possibility within pharmacy or within healthcare. And so I hope that these stories are helping you, or help maybe opening your eyes to different opportunities. So we'll talk a little bit about StilCop in particular, and you both kind of mentioned what you do as faculty members here. Dr. Guyton, you mentioned the skills labs. So we have 4 different skills labs here on campus that mimic different areas of pharmacy so that our students get that hands-on practice. And then Dr. Cranage, you mentioned kind of a little bit about the curriculum. But can you talk a little bit, either one of you, talk a little bit about, just kind of not what the curriculum looks like. We don't need to go into depth of that, but just what a student can expect in pharmacy school, or maybe, a lot of these students are high school students, so they have a lot of time to kind of prepare their minds for the transition to a professional program. But maybe suggestions or tips for students as they move into college, undergraduate, things that they can maybe start thinking about doing to help prepare them for going to pharmacy school. Dr. Guyton, I'll pick on you.
I think kind of like a general walk through the curriculum is, it's a really obviously big emphasis on a lot of the core science and math things that you've learned in undergraduate. And then I really think the cool part is that you start to learn how to apply like the knowledge that you're gaining. You're learning more drug therapy. You're kind of walking through body systems one by one and how medicine start to affect that body system. And then you really build the next semester. And it's like, remember we talked about last semester and now we talk about a new system. So I remember being a pharmacy student in my first year, just being like, when are we going to talk about the real stuff? There was a lot of kind of prep still and really trying to teach you about the profession and kind of setting the stage for what was to come. And then really kind of the second year and the third years where you're deep in it and you're really learning a whole lot of details and learning how to be a pharmacist, how to help patients and all the medicine. So kind of the first year is kind of a prep and prop you up year, and the second and third year is really where it comes into a lot of the different disease states and learning more about kind of how you can be a pharmacist and what your role will be.
Year is, you both kind of mentioned this, but that fourth year, your P4 year, is all clinical rotation. So that whole year you're out in the community, whether it's here in the St. Louis area or anywhere really. We have a lot of opportunities. We've been a college of pharmacy for a very long time. We celebrated our 158th anniversary last year as a university, as an institution. So that means we have a lot of alum who are spread out everywhere across the country, even some who are international. And so our students have a lot of experiential opportunities across the country and then sometimes internationally as well. And so that fourth and final year of the program, if you choose to not go into residency, would be all those clinical rotations. And then they both did a residency, which were in different parts of the country as well. And so there's just a lot of opportunity to get out there, see what's out there. And, the program here just really preps you step by step, stage by stage to get there, to help prepare them. But as far as like I said, like a high school student, would you encourage them to get a job in pharmacy in their undergrad? Or like, what are your thoughts on something like that to help prepare them? I'll let you take that one.
I personally, I feel like I almost learned more working as much as I did in school.
Yeah.
Because it's really nice when you're even thinking about going into pharmacy. When you do eventually get there, you've seen a lot of the things that you're then learning about, and you know how that works in the real world. So I do think there's a lot of value in having that exposure in a job setting. In particular, when you're undergrad for sure, but even especially when you're in pharmacy school, I think there's huge value to experiencing that. And even if you're not, we do our best here to mimic those real world settings. So Dr. Guyton was describing a lot of the didactic courses of being in a classroom and taking classes like you would traditionally think of with other students in there and talking about things and notes. But we try to do a lot of hands-on things here as well. And she mentioned the Skills Lab series, I think, at one point, but something that really complements those things that she was talking about nicely. Our skills labs are set up of the real things that we think you're going to see when you're a pharmacist. So, for example, one of our skills labs is actually a licensed pharmacy that we have here, where students can go in one of our skills lab courses, and the things that you're learning about in the classroom can then be applied in a real pharmacy setting. Another one of those is set up where it's more like a clinic office where you can have an exam table and be the pharmacist who's taking care of patients. And then the last one is set up like a hospital pharmacy where there's IV hoods where you can compound medicines just like you would in the real world setting. So even if you can't work, we mimic that here in our skills lab courses that mimic that go along with the curriculum as well.
The reason I ask that is because I see some students who are in undergrad and then they're like, oh, I haven't had any experiences in the pharmacy. Oh no, that's, I'm not going to get into pharmacy school if I don't. And that's not the case. If you have the opportunity to have experiences, great. That just adds to your ability to have knowledge of a pharmacy outside of being in pharmacy school. And that's a plus of coming here to UHSP as an undergrad is you're surrounded by, there's pharmacy faculty in the same building as you. So there are opportunities or just connections that can be made, and potential pharmacy technician jobs that could be had, whether it be in a retail setting, a hospital setting, anything like that. So I think that's a big plus of starting in an undergrad, because I think we have students who are trying to make a decision. Okay, do I want to come here first and just go the whole way, or do I want to go somewhere else and then come to the Pharm D program at a later date? And of course, those are all options, but I mean, one of the big benefits of starting right out of high school here is you're here, you're on campus. We're located in the Central West End in St. Louis. We're right next to Barnes-Jewish Hospital, Washington University School of Medicine, Goldfarb School of Nursing, Children's Hospital, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the parts of the curriculum in the College of Pharmacy is the interprofessional curriculum. So you'll be working with medical students, nursing students, PT, OT, et cetera, and you'll work together as a team to practice what it's going to be like in real life when you're working on a team, a clinical team, to make sure your patient gets the best care. So those are just some examples of the benefit of being here from the get-go. So any last piece of maybe advice or tip or just a word of encouragement for students as they're making decisions?
I think pharmacy sometimes we think of it as kind of a narrow thing. We think of like only one or two job potentials, but the list is just huge. And that's only grown in recent years, I would say. So the potential, we see our students going into community settings, hospital settings, industry, clinical type positions, kind of just the gamut of things that are available. So I think there's a lot of potential with pharmacy, and it's really good for full-time and part-time and all kinds of different opportunities that exist. So I think there's a lot of career potentials that have made it a great career for the two of us.
Yeah.
I think just to add to that quickly, I think one of the things that we do really well here too is also providing students a lot of opportunities to learn while you're a student about all the different opportunities. So you have a more informed decision when you've finished the program and you're out practicing. So lots of opportunities in our elective courses to dive into a little bit deeper into some of the different areas of pharmacy. And then obviously with the rotations, as Courtney was mentioning earlier, there's so many alum, there's so many faculty, there are so many different areas that students can choose to learn more about to try to figure out as they're a student, like what area or what best part of pharmacy would fit them. And so I remember feeling really overwhelmed, like I don't know what I'm going to want to do, and I just had no clue, and like that was okay. There was a lot of time in the curriculum to really start to learn more about the profession and figure it out, and so that by the time you graduate, you have kind of like your next steps kind of in line.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you guys got what I was hoping you would get out of this. Again, just hearing stories, getting that glimpse of what it's like to be a pharmacy student and what the pharmacy career can offer. So again, this is just a stepping stone. So come back to us, come ask questions. I'm here to help facilitate conversations with faculty members. Come onto campus. We can set you up and chat with more of our faculty members. And again, we'll have more events in the future geared directly towards our College of Pharmacy, but also just our university in general. So come to those, get on our campus, and get that feel for what it's like to be here. So thank you, Dr. Guyton, Dr. Cranage, so much. And we will be back in about 8 or so minutes, right at 7:30, and we'll finish out with some of our current UHSP students. We'll finish out the night that way. So we'll be right back. welcome back to our final session of the evening. Thank you so much for sticking around or for joining us for the first time if you weren't able to join us earlier. Thank you so much. It's been a really great night. I've been really excited about the conversations that we've had, and I hope you've gotten something out of it. Again, this is just supposed to be a stepping stone of information, learning more about UHSP, learning about the opportunities here, and now to learn what it's like to be a student here and what our students are currently experiencing. So thank you so much, and we can't wait to hopefully meet you guys in person soon, and we'll be looking forward to that. But we'll get started with some of our current UHSP students. I have the pleasure of working with these students. They are student ambassadors. They're very involved on campus, but they each have unique stories and unique experiences here on campus. So we're going to get to know them a little bit better, get to know, again, what it's like to be a student here, and what their experiences have been like so far. So let me introduce them. So with us right now, we have 3 of our student ambassadors. We have Dawson, Lily, and Nautica, all joining us tonight. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves. So Dawson, go ahead. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dawson Hillegas. I'm currently a sophomore here, and I am doing the 4+1, so getting my Bachelor's of Arts in Medical Humanities, and then I plan to go to Goldfarb and get my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing.
Lily Zahari. I'm a senior here at the university, and I'm currently completing my Bachelor's of Science in Biomedical Sciences. I'm working on medical school admissions right now.
Awesome. And Nautica, last but not least.
Hello. My name is Nautica Alexander. I am a senior. My major is medical humanities.
So we got 2 medical humanities tonight. And we also have Kristen Collins, who is joining us virtually. So she is in the chat on the Teams call right now, and she is a P3 student, and what that means is she is a pharmacy student in her 3rd year of the pharmacy program. So she's in the chat, so if you're in the chat as well and you have specific questions for her, she'd be happy to answer those, and I'd be happy to connect you with her after this night if you have additional questions for her specific to pharmacy, because we got non-pharmacy students here, but we do have that representation online if you have questions. But again, I can help make connections for you with some of our other pharmacy students who are student ambassadors, and I'll help make those connections, and we can get those questions answered for you then. But we'll start off. Dawson, Lily, and Nautica, tell us, why did you choose to come to UHSP? Dawson, we'll start with you.
Well, I originally actually planned to come here for pharmacy.
Yeah.
So after I realized, looking at all the other majors that the university offered, I was interested in doing nursing.
Awesome.
So as I mentioned, the 4+1 program.
Yeah.
And then I did a CNA program in high school that I really enjoyed. Nice. So being able to have that one-on-one and having that patient interaction meant a lot to me. So I really decided to feel that was more for me. So yes.
Awesome. And then Lily, what about you? What made you choose UHSP?
So I came here on a visit when I was in high school, and I got to learn about all the new degrees that they were doing related to allied health careers. I always wanted to do medical school, and so when I heard that they had a degree that would be really well suited for that pathway, I really took to it just because I really liked the environment, and I thought that this institution would be a really great stepping stone to medical school.
Awesome. Thank you. And Nautica, what about you? You have a unique story, but tell us how you found out about UHSP.
So I'm a transfer student from a small school in Muskogee, Oklahoma called Bacone. And my soccer team at the time was playing UHSP. And I was like, oh, this is nice. So here I am.
Hey, you hear about us in all different ways. And that's sometimes the way that you hear about us. And then you do research and you're like, wait a second, that might be a place that I want to be. So it happens differently for everybody.
A lot of different connections and a lot of opportunities. So it's always nice to have those options.
Absolutely. And so you guys, I know you guys are super involved because you are student ambassadors, so I know that, but we've seen Nautica with a Eutectic soccer shirt on, and I know Dawson is involved in athletics as well with our new cheer team, and you guys are involved in a lot of things, but can you talk a little bit about maybe what you're involved in on campus and what it's like to be involved in campus, what it's like to be involved as a student, and maybe why you feel like that has helped your experience here?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm involved a lot, as you mentioned, on cheer, involved in the Pre-Nursing Student Association, as well as the Campus Activities Board. So getting to play in activities on campus is also, sometimes it's nice just take a break from studying and going to go do activity on campus. But it really is a good way just to find that balance and being able to be involved and just to have this explore and being able to have all those, meet new people. And
Make friends,
so it's awesome. So
Awesome. Lily, what about you?
Yeah, so other than being a student ambassador, I also work in research. So my research is here on campus. We have research labs here on campus for undergraduates to work on. And I actually work with one professor who I've been working with since my freshman year. And like I said, I'm in my senior year. So I've been working with her for the past 3 years, going on 4. It's been a really great experience. We do a couple different projects together. And I got to start that my freshman year, which is a really cool opportunity that I don't think you get at larger colleges. So with our smaller community, it's just really much easier to establish that connection with our faculty members. And they're so willing to help you with any kind of projects you might be interested in. We actually have a research symposium every spring that introduces the research we do campus-wide. So if you are interested in research, you get to learn about all the different projects that are going on. And then, of course, the professors will let you know which ones are getting ready to take on students for their projects. So it's a really great opportunity if you're going into those allied health careers or even pharmacy, because research is such a big aspect of healthcare, and it's a really important field to kind of look at if you're trying to get into the healthcare profession.
Awesome, thank you. Naka, what about you? What are you involved in?
I'm part of the UTEC women's soccer team. Actually retired now.
Congrats.
But I'm a dual sport athlete. I'm also playing lacrosse in the spring. I'm also involved in BSA, that is Black Student Alliance. We're actually having a show for Black Panther tonight. So.
Yay! We aren't watching it, but there's a lot of students who are enjoying that right now. That's awesome. Anything else, or that's good? That's a lot. That's good. That's good. And our lacrosse team is new this year, so you'll be a part of the new. So is our cheer. So they're a part of some new teams here on campus, which is exciting. There's always something new happening. And like Dawson was saying, he's a part of you said Pre-Nursing Association.
Yeah, Pre-Nursing Students.
So that's a new organization. We have new organizations it sounds silly, but we have a pre-Pharm club now, which is a new
as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
say that again.
Pre-med.
Pre-med as well. So there's a lot of new organizations always coming, and I think Lily mentioned kind of because we're a smaller institution, we have a lot of really great opportunities for students to make their own path and create their own excitement and fun in a lot of ways. We already have a ton of student organizations on campus, athletic teams, clubs, research opportunities, but sometimes there's things. We have a theater program, we have a Royal Choral, so we do a fall play and a spring musical, which is always exciting. Dawson, you've been a part of that. Have either of you?
The fall,
you
play,
did the fall, the play in the fall. So we have
spring musical.
That I think is super unique because we're a small institution. I don't think a lot of prospective students expect us to say we have a thriving theater program, which is really exciting for our students. For sure the play, but I think the musical is always really fun for students to have fun in the musical. And it's cool, not only are students in those, but faculty and staff get involved in the play and the musical, and it's just really, it's a fun experience. So that's another opportunity, but I've listed out 1,000 things right there. So there are a lot of things for students to be involved in. If by chance there is something that you want to start on campus, a new organization or a new club or group or something like that, it's fairly easy to make that happen.
Definitely.
To find friends that are interested in the same thing as you and want that to happen too. For example, when I was a student here, 8+ years ago, soccer was not a team that we had here on campus. It wasn't an NAIA team. It was an intramural, and there was so much excitement about soccer, and so many of our students wanted it that they kind of worked, and now it is. Now we have a women's and men's NAIA athletic team. So those sorts of, even something like that. So it's just a really cool place for students to be. Of course, you guys are all thriving in the classroom and having great academic experiences, but the experiences you're having outside the classroom are just as good. So we've talked with some faculty members tonight, and I was saying, why I wanted them to talk is because it's nice to show off how easy they are to talk to, or just how approachable they are. But coming from you guys, are they easy to approach? Are they helping you? Are they helping have conversations? How has your experiences been with our faculty members here?
Yes, definitely. So the professors have open door policies. They're so easy to approach, to go to their offices and talk to them if you have any questions at all. It's I don't know, it's so easy.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, emailing them, a lot of them are so fast at replying back to you, helping you. The tutoring on campus is a plus. To have that tutoring there, it's built already into your tuition, so you don't have to pay anything extra. And it's peer tutors, so it's just other students that took the course already. So it's nice to have those peer tutors to being able to help you. It doesn't matter if you have an A or a B or a C. Anyone can take tutoring, and so it's awesome. So definitely, I love the tutoring here.
Awesome. Lily, what's your experience been? You've had unique experiences with faculty, so.
Yeah, I think Dr. E kind of touched on this earlier, but it's just so easy to approach our faculty here. The faculty member that I was talking about earlier that I worked with on research, she and I literally got started my freshman year, and it's kind of the same way Dr. E worked with that student she mentioned earlier, Bear. I literally just approached her, told her I was interested in participating in research, and she discussed what her current projects were, and from there we just kind of started incorporating me into them. It's really easy to get involved with that kind of stuff when the faculty are so open-armed with the students, and that was literally my first week of freshman year. So don't be afraid to go and get out there that first week, because you're going to be here for an extended period of time. These faculty members are going to get to have the time to know you, and they're just as eager to work with you as you are to work with them.
That's great. I remember you told me that story, Lily. Your first week of class, you went up and you've been doing research ever since. So it happens. It's what's happened. Nautica, what's your experience been like as a transfer student? So you've had college experience outside of here too. So what's your experience been like here?
Basically what Dawson and Lily said, it's the same for, I guess everybody has the same experience.
Yeah.
You're not just a number here. They know you by name, so that's always the good thing. I actually never took Dr. E. How I met Dr. E is we followed her to the Hamilton what is it? Concert?
The musical?
Yeah, musical last year. Me and Dawson. And so that's how I met Dr. E. So now every time she sees me, she speaks and whatnot. And that's the same for all the professors here. You're not a number, and they know your name. If they don't know your name, they're going to ask somebody. And you're going to be very surprised that they know your name. So.
Yeah. That's a great story.
Even the president knows my name.
Yes, of course he does. Yes, Dr. Allen. He definitely knows. He knows that's a big thing for Dr. Allen is he wants to know you guys. He wants you to know him, and he wants you to feel comfortable. I don't see any questions coming in, but if students have questions for these guys,
send them our way.
Send them our way. We're ready to answer them. But you guys, Dawson, you kind of touched on this a little bit with tutoring. So we've talked about our great faculty, and they have a lot of support for our students, and they help students through the classes that they're taking. And Dr. E and even Dr. Cranage and Dr. Guyton kind of mentioned this too, but we have a really great support system. So of course you will work with us, or you are working with us in admissions leading up to you getting here in the fall, starting here at UHSP. From there, we are always still available to you, as I mentioned, because you know us and you know our face, and it's easy to just come find us. And all three of these, students stop by my office whenever they want to. But what we also have on campus is a whole set of staff members who are in our campus life department. Some incredible people over in that department. None are here tonight, but they're so awesome, and they support our students in numerous ways. Like Dawson mentioned, we have a tutoring center, which is led by a staff member, but then all of the tutors are peer tutors. So they are students who were successful in that class before. They do one-on-one, group tutoring, all that. I'll let them talk about it. But there are also other support services like counseling. We have a multicultural center. We have an interfaith prayer room on campus. So there's just a lot of opportunity to feel supported and be supported through your journey in academia. We've talked about the transition from high school to college is a transition. It's going to happen regardless of where you go. But we have just a really great set of folks here who just like grab you and help you and bring you into the UHSP world and help you feel successful. But can you guys talk a little bit more about, I guess, maybe your experience with some of the Success Center folks? You talked a little bit about tutoring, but maybe Lily, if you want to talk a little bit about your experience with them over there.
Yeah, so I don't personally have anything related to tutoring. I never tutored or anything, but the woman in charge of tutoring, Kim Hill, our staff member, I do work with her on a program called Summer Immersion.
Yeah.
And so that's a really,
Your
I'm actually wearing the
yes.
But the Summer Immersion program is a really great opportunity if you're interested, not only in our school, but in healthcare in general. So it's a summer camp, and you come here to our campus and stay in our dorms, and you attend mock lectures. And so it's lectures taught by our actual faculty members. They put together different lectures and programs for you to attend, and then you also get to kind of see what it's like to live on campus and have the college experience, and kind of just get an introduction to healthcare. So it's not just for people interested in our college specifically, but also if you just want to explore healthcare, but you get to see a really great side of our college, including our faculty and staff, and just kind of like the inner workings of a college student's life.
Kim's gonna love us. We've given two summer immersion call-outs tonight, which is great. And then Nautica, what's your experience been like with that team of staff members, or the support that they provide?
It's been great. With me being a transfer, things are different from each institution. Yeah. So here, seeking tutoring is not a bad thing. You could be having a B in the class doing fairly well, but just because you want to grasp the concept, it's good to seek that tutoring and help. So it's always been a good experience for me, and like when I need it, they're there. So
they're there, right? Yeah, they're always there. We did have a question come in from the chat room. So it's a question from a student. It says that you saw something on UHSP website about Greek life, sororities and fraternities, and yes, we do have that. I mentioned like organizations and things, and that is included in that. So yes, we do have Greek life here. It looks a little bit different probably than like a big major university. I was a part of a it was called a fraternity, but it was an all-female sorority. But since it was a professional pharmacy organization, it's called a fraternity. But I was a part of one when I was a student here. I don't know if any of you are part of any Greek life, but I didn't think so. But we do have Greek life here, and it's also very exciting and another thing that a lot of our students are involved in. But it's something that not every student gets involved in. So it's a fun additional thing that students can get involved in if they want to. But yes, we do have Greek life here. Awesome. I see your face. So hi, Kimberly. Do we have any other questions? Ooh, we have another one. Ooh, good question. This will be for Nautica or Dawson. So this is, how is the balance between being a student, athlete, academics, and managing the schedule of being an athlete? Go ahead.
That is a very good question. Like Dr. E said, it's about communicating with your professors, because depending on the sport you play, you do travel a lot, and sometimes we do travel out of state to where we stay in hotels. But for us, a lot of us, we bring our laptops with us because it's also your responsibility to communicate with that professor, but also get what you need to do to get done. So if it's like doing something before your game, you can try to work that out, but also just basically just communicating that.
I think what's cool, if you have an answer, I'll let you answer in a second. I think what's cool is, and you kind of just mentioned it, but like your teammates, you might be in different degree programs, you might be on different paths, but there's going to be some overlap. Like you're going to have the same classes of at least one other teammate of yours. And so when you're on the bus heading to a game, you can study together or chat through something. If you're, after or before practice, you can work together and study. So the athletic programs here, it's kind of like a built-in support system in and of itself there too, because your coaches are really supportive of you doing well in your classes, and then the faculty and the academic part knows when you have games, and they're supportive of, trying to work their best that they can with you with schedules of practice and games. Go ahead, Dr.
Yeah, I agree with you, Courtney. With your coaches and teammates, it's just like a well-rounded overall, having that support system. And I feel like also you have those teammates that took maybe classes in the past that can help you. And some, I know lacrosse actually, they take out, do like study groups. And they sit down.
I know our baseball team does that too.
Yes, I know that's a good way. And everyone's so supportive and helping you. It's just finding that balance and advocating for yourself. And like reaching out. So if you do have a competition or something, just reaching out and making sure your professor knows, and just rescheduling or finding a different time that works for you. So definitely.
That's great tips. I hope that was helpful.
You can also pick your coach's brain too. So
pick your coach's brain. There you go. They've got a lot of insight. Yes. Let's see. Loletta had one more question. What happens if you're unable to complete one assignment? Will professors be lenient? So that kind of goes into what you guys were saying. So this question was, if you're unable to complete an assignment, will professors be lenient? So that goes into that communication. So of course the professors are going to want to know, ahead of time, if you have a game, and most likely they're gonna know. So it probably won't get to the point where you just accidentally miss an assignment. Again, open communication. If you're talking if you're talking with your professors, you're gonna know at the beginning of the year, you're gonna get that syllabi, and you're gonna have what your tests are, when your assignments are due. So you're gonna have that. Yeah, you're gonna know. You're gonna know all the things, but your faculty members are gonna support you. So if you say, hey, I'm going to get this in, but they're open to having conversations with you. Kimberly says hi. There's Kimberly.
I can see her on there.
Awesome. So she had a question for you specifically. How much time does research take up as far as in your academic life?
Yeah, it really depends on the student and the faculty member and also the project. So I spend about 2 hours each week, I would say, but it also depends on what portion of the project I'm in, because mine, there's a lot of either lab work, or I'm actually in the lab performing different actions, or there's a lot of kind of online work where I'm using different software on a computer. So it can be pretty flexible depending on what project you're working on, but majority of the time before you start your project, you're going to talk with your faculty advisor and set scheduled times for you to come into the lab or to work on your project. It's usually going to be set up beforehand. You don't have to worry about having to go in at a moment's notice. They're usually going to try to set up a scheduled time at least a week, or maybe every other week, that you can come in and be with them. I think Dr. E talked a little bit about the Research Scholars Program. So that, especially if you're interested in research, is a good way to get in, because that is going to be incorporated into your school schedule, because you're in that program. You're going to be doing rotations, like she said, with multiple researchers throughout the school year. And so that's very much scheduled kind of through with your school schedule. But if you're doing it the way I did, where you just kind of get introduced to research on your own, you're usually going to work with your faculty advisor to figure out where you could fit in the time slot to do the research.
Is that helpful, Kimberly? Awesome. Thank you guys for your questions. So we're coming to the end of our time together, but tonight's been so much fun for me. I hope you guys have had fun, and we look forward to having these events in the future as well. So again, like I said, this month, our virtual preview day kind of took the place of, we typically have a virtual college success series, which is the third Thursday of every month. And so this took that place of our November College Success Series. We'll have another one in December, and then we have one again through the rest of the year through May. And we have different topics, so keep an eye out. You can go ahead and register for all of those right now, and then you'll get reminders the day before with links to join. But we'll also send out reminders throughout the semester to register for those. So those are kind of like this. They're just nice tidbits of information to help you keep motivated as you're going through the application process or as you're trying to figure out what colleges, narrowing down your search, those sorts of things. And we, of course, talk about UHSP, but in those sessions we talk about just college search process in general. So definitely come to those. In the spring, we'll have another virtual preview day. We'll try to switch up our guests a little bit, but it'll be similar to this. And then we will have our in-person preview day as well. I believe the virtual preview day is in March and the in-person is in April. I'm the one who created them and made them, but I cannot think of the dates off the top of my head. But it's been 2 hours of talking. So we'll send those dates out to everybody so that you know about those opportunities and you can get registered for those. And then we have other experiences as well. So just keep an eye on your email. I know you guys are getting just emails after emails after emails. But just if you are interested in the UHSP, maybe like flag our emails so it comes to the top of your inbox or something, like, I don't know, and that way you're alerted that when we have something coming up that you can get registered and hop on. And I know many of you were just here to get the information, but we do have a scholarship drawing. And so how that's going to work, we know the people who have attended throughout the night and specifically this session. So we are going to do the drawing and we will send an email to the 3 winners, okay? So the email that you registered for this event with, it's probably just the email we already have for you. But keep an eye on your email. If you get an email, it'll have the scholarship. If you don't get an email, I'm sorry that you weren't picked. But we hope that you enjoyed tonight. Thank you, Dawson, Lily, Nautica. Thank you so much. And to our other faculty members who were here, Dr. E, Dr. Guyton, Dr. Cranage, and of course Walter, our admissions rep. Thank you so much. And my team has been here behind the scenes, Connie, Laura, Alexa, Frank, Vince, thank you so much. And our financial aid team, Tony and Patrick and Kim, thank you all so much for your support tonight. Again, I hope you all learned a little bit more about UHSP, and hopefully you're excited to maybe come and visit us soon, even if you're from far away. There are opportunities far enough out, hopefully, that you can maybe schedule to come and see us in person. We can't wait to meet you. We can't wait to tell you more about UHSP and help you through the application process. And just thank you so much. We look forward to hopefully seeing you again soon. I know we see familiar faces tonight, so thanks for joining us again. And we look forward to meeting you all in the future. So thank you for joining us tonight. I'm done talking. I'm going to lose my voice again. And I really appreciated spending my night with you. So thank you so much, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.